So good morning. We are gathered here this morning, and I want to mention it that this is a BPF press briefing, and press briefing is occasioned by blatant acts of provocation and recklessness that we've been seeing and witnessing over the past couple of days and weeks. And before I go into any opening remarks, I'd like to introduce the key people today for this press briefing, and also to acknowledge you and basically to thank you as different media houses. I am thanking you not just for acknowledging you, not just for being here today, but for playing a key role in the protection of civil liberties in our country. Without the role that you're playing, this regime would be doing so much damage to the country. But because you're there, always watching and always willing to put yourselves in the path of danger for the sake of your country, we are able to have it much better than we otherwise would. Our guest today, we have just to my immediate right, Ms. 𝐁𝐎𝐓𝐑𝐈𝐎 Sepora. Ms. 𝐁𝐎�𝐑𝐈𝐎 Sepora is our Women's League chairperson, and she's because she's one of those that got detained by the regime. And then just after Ms. Sepora, we have Mr. Ogaufi Nthobelang, also known as Ratsie for those in politics. And Ratsie is a former Youth League member and a member of the BPF. And he's quite a thorn on the flesh of the regime. And then, on any other day, I would have announced him first, but because these are our guests for today, I'm announcing him last. To the extreme right, we have Mr. 𝐁𝐎𝐓𝐒𝐖𝐀𝐍𝐀. Mr. 𝐁𝐎𝐓𝐒𝐖𝐀𝐍𝐀 is the BPF Secretary for International Relations. He's a member of the NEC, responsible for our relations with fraternal parties and other organizations and countries. So the next time you have something to do with our relations with others, Mr. 𝐁𝐎𝐓𝐒𝐖𝐀𝐍𝐀 is the right person to speak to. John Bahaj, we have, witnessed over the past couple of weeks acts which are of political harassment. We have seen a growing list of civic organizations and associations also joining to start calling out the regime for their abuses of human rights and for their disrespect of the rights to freedom of expression and association that we have seen taking place recently. And we are aware that what is happening currently with the DIS is actually sponsored right from the opening. The DIS is acting under instructions from President Masisi and his fellow leaders at the top of the BDP. And we've noted something. We've noted that the acts that are happening are not random. This is a narrative that President Masisi has tried to drive ever since the 2019 general election, as you would have seen some of the videos where he called the party a vigilante group. A party that his government has registered, he called a vigilante group. That is preparing people and preparing a militia. A militia is basically a small army, a rudimentary army within a state. He knew he wasn't telling the truth. He knew it was a lie, but he said it. And after saying it, his progress, he's continued to actually then continue repeating this. And the DIS is now following his instructions to treat the BPF as though it is an illegal movement that shouldn't exist. But we see what is happening now. The regime is in panic mode. They've never quite been in such a position. They are in a position where they're out of the comfort zone. And with by-elections coming up, we've seen a scale-up in the levels of harassment. They're targeting our key activists. And these are some of our key activists. And these people have committed just one crime. And that crime is being fearless members of the BPF who are willing to call out the regime any day. There's no other crime that they've committed. We've seen instances where BDP members say, no, they wrote something, they lied. I know they didn't lie, but let's suppose they had lied about something. Who lies more publicly and frequently than any other person in this country? Who is one person in this country who just doesn't tell the truth? And he blatantly does so publicly. It is the president. So then, if the DIS is allowing instructions to arrest anyone for not having told the truth, we are of the opinion that they must first arrest President Masisi. He lies publicly. He just doesn't tell the truth. And I mean, there's so many instances that we could recall. And the latest one is, Honorable Salisando, just yesterday, basically called him out on the untruth about the road from China to fix the A3 road, the stretch between Napa and Mau. The president just doesn't tell the truth. So you must start there. Secondly, the next batch of people that must get arrested for anything would be DIS agents and the DIS itself. Because what they're doing is, we've seen a scenario that you've never seen before. The media is now awash with fictitious characters or pseudo accounts. And these accounts are operated by these people. It's just shameful. You have a whole national security infrastructure that is now creating fake accounts and attacking other citizens and fellow citizens. Yesterday, we're pretty sure you saw a story that they circulated about former President Hama's head of security, where they said he disowned President Hama and he did this and this, he spilled the beans on guns and everything else, which was a blatant lie. And we think it's quite frustrating for the citizens of this country that we are caught up in this web when we shouldn't be. We think a bit of integrity would be quite appreciable from a government. We don't think a government should have a policy to just lie. And we are not going to be afraid to call it out as lies, because we know they're not telling the truth. How does a government use people who are on government payroll to falsify something when they know it's not true? So in short, Ramake, who was said to have disowned former President Hama and spoken about stashes of weapons and how arms are being siphoned into the DIS armory, has made it very clear that such is blatantly untrue. It's just the DIS and the BDP, or one of them, with a misinformation campaign. But we will not be stopping there. We are going to be undeterred. We are going to go on a campaign nationally and internationally to show the world that we're dealing with a brutal regime that doesn't quite care about anything. You'll hear the accounts of Mr. Nthobelang and Mr. Sepora in a few seconds. But what we are seeing here is a scenario where people are getting harassed. And if you look into the trend, the past maybe 6, 7, or 8 arrests, predominantly of our members, nothing came out of them. They basically just detain you, take your phones, and then send you home. And they keep doing the same thing. So now think of it this way. You have an iPhone, or whatever other phone you may have. They arrest you, they take it, they keep it. You go buy another one, they come in, they arrest you, they take it, they keep it. Do you see what the trend is? Exhaust them financially. And that's exactly what's happening. Arrest them, they'll need a lawyer. The lawyer will come in. The lawyer doesn't come for free. They'll have to pay. So this is just blatant political strategy from the BDP, and we see what they're doing. We are going on a campaign nationally and internationally, to sensitize the world on how power is being abused in our country. And like we've said previously, and I have to say this and be very clear about it, we have said the regime will keep dictating what options we have. We are not going to sit back and do nothing. If we need to go internationally, we'll go. If we need to mobilize our members and just fill up the streets, we'll do it. The options are out there. We are not going to just sit back and let them do what they did. So they came in, they took Catherine. Catherine has a baby. They just come in, they take it, they don't care where the baby is, what's going to happen with the baby. To them, they're not bothered. Nothing human about it. So this is why we called you in here today, to speak about these issues and to also help them tell you their own stories. I'm going to start with Ms. Sepora, who will tell you her story. And then after that, we can have Ms. start with Ms. Sepora.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. The leadership of the Botswana Patriotic Front, members of the media houses here present, and my fellow detainee, comrade Ogaufi Nthobelang, Memasego, I see you. Thank you so much for organizing this very, very important press conference, because it is very important for Botswana to also know why we have been arrested. Otherwise, if we just leave this like this, then the story will be one-sided, which will remain biased. Firstly, before I can go into details, I would like to remember the founding Secretary General of the Botswana Patriotic Front, 𝐁𝐎𝐓𝐒 Matume, who left us on this very same day last year, and today marks 1 year since her demise. It is very true that on or about 30th of November 2021, I was arrested by the DIS. They came in with 3 sedans, BMW sedans. I don't know whether if you can hear me, because I can't even hear myself. My ears are still ringing sirens. So if my voice is lower, advise me to speak louder. They came in 3 sedans, BMWs. The other one was a traffic car. It was a group of 9 men. I mean, a group of 9 people, 2 women and 7 men. So they identified themselves as the DIS officers, coming with the instruction to come and arrest me and take me to Sebele for an interview. Unfortunately, upon my arrest, I was denied access to my phone. I was denied access to legal consultation. So, except for my mother, who happened to see that these people came into her house. She was the only person who knew that I was arrested. Then throughout on the way, because we took about plus or minus 2 hours from my home village up to Gaborone. On the way, I had a ceremonial arrest. There were sirens and a traffic car clearing all the cars on the traffic, and those cars were flying at a speed of around 260 kilometers per an hour to 280 kilometers per an hour. So on the way, my phone was ringing while they had it, and I couldn't have access to my phone. So people started becoming suspicious that I might be arrested, and my fellow party members tried to locate me. Unfortunately, I couldn't get hold of them. So upon my arrival at the DIS Sebele offices, I was instructed to remain in the car for about 3 hours because it looks like they were trying to find a way of arresting my fellow colleague here because they couldn't locate him. I only realized that I wasn't the only one arrested because I also saw Mr. 𝐁𝐎�𝐒𝐂𝐓𝐒. He's a former BPF member and now with the UDC. And other person who was arrested was Justice Nthobelang. He also received the same gesture like mine. He got his entourage from here to Sepora to also arrest him. So 3 hours later, I was called to a conference room, where upon my arrival, I found about 10 men and 2 women. So the first question that they asked me, because I'm not allowed to ask any question. Even those who arrested me, I tried to ask them, why am I arrested? No one told me. They just told me that, no, we were instructed to come and take you here. So whoever instructed us will let you know when you get to Gaborone. So the first question that I was asked was, who is the father of your son? How is your son related to former President Khama? I was so puzzled as to why and since when the DIS performed the DNA. So they continued to interrogate me. They asked me why did I leave the BDP, who recruited me to the BPF, why do I hate President Masisi, and who are my friends in the BDP, what am I intending to do, do I at some point see myself going back to the BDP, and they wanted to know who are my friends at the BDP, why am I still related with them. Then as they were questioning me, one officer came with a pile of printouts of my Facebook posts, of which I did not deny that I'm the one who wrote them on my personal capacity as a Facebook user and also a political activist. So there were certain posts that they picked without any specifications. They said to me, who gives me the information that I write on Facebook about them? As they were asking me that question, one officer demanded my phone, and she instructed that I unlock my phone. So they invaded my privacy and started reading my WhatsApp messages. Then they picked 2 names. I would kindly like you to not ask me who are those 2 names, but they are just individuals, ordinary members of this country. They don't hold any influential positions. So they asked me, oh, okay, these 2 people are the ones who are sending you these messages. Then I said yes. Then they said to me, where do those people get the messages from? Then I said, I don't know, because the messages get to me as forwarded messages. Then they asked me if I can tell them where those people within the offices, who is the one who is sponsoring them with the whole information. Then I said, I don't even know any one of the DIS officers. Unfortunately, I can't say I've got a friend in the DIS who is my source. So they said, okay, we're not going to question those people or also bring them in for questioning. We'll just leave them as they are. Then they kept on looking at the Facebook post. Then they asked me, why did I go to Sepora to attend the meetings? And if I have got relatives in Sepora, what prompts me to go to Serowe. Then I said to them, I had few reasons to go to Serowe, by the virtue of coming from Tonota, the village which subscribes to the 𝐏𝐬𝐬𝐂 Tribal Authority. So I found it fit and very important to attend anything that is related to the 𝐏𝐬𝐬𝐂. So as they were interrogating me, they kept on taking me out for a certain period of time. Then when I come back, they continue to ask me the same questions. They asked me, how did former President Khama escape the country? Where was I when he left the country? Do I have any contacts? Do I know his whereabouts? And they also asked me if I can take them to where he is. Then I said to them, I don't even know his whereabouts, I don't even have his contacts. Then they asked me how much is he paying. Then I said I'm not his employee. So as I was answering all those questions that they were asking me, the other one kept on saying, she's playing games, we're taking her to maximum prison. So those are the questions that I was asked. I don't know if I've left anything, but those are the questions that have been asked. Then upon that, around past 10, 11ish, then the Director General of the DIS, Ramaphosa, came in. Then he called me and he said, my officers are doing their job. Please tell them and answer them as they ask you. Tell them anything that you know about former President Khama. Then I said, I don't know anything about President Khama. All I know is that I also saw on the newspapers that he's outside the country. Then he asked me if I know his whereabouts, and I denied. After he left, the same panel instructed me to write a statement to state my political portfolio, and to state that the information that I mentioned earlier, like the Facebook post that they make printouts, I have to indicate where I got the information from. So I did that. Then from there, they took me to Broadhead Police Station for the officer commanding them to take over the statement. Then from there, I don't know what changed their mind, because they said they would be taking me to maximum prison. So from there we ran around Gaborone. They wanted to take me to Aden Police Station. Unfortunately, it couldn't accommodate me, because they said they don't accommodate women. And sadly, I was taken to Mogodisani Police Station. When I got there,
okay, could you just take a bit of a break? And yeah. Just give us a second.
Continue.
yes, let's continue.
Kala.
Right, before you go in. Yeah, before you go in. All right, so sorry about that moment. If she's able to, she will finish the story. If she's not able to, then we'll continue to Mr. Kalaje after Ratsie speaks. Mr. Ogaufi, Nthobelang, was also detained, and two other people, 𝐁𝐎�𝐒𝐂𝐓𝐑𝐈𝐎f𝐲 were detained. 𝐁𝐎𝐓𝐒𝐀𝐍𝐀 is not here because he's not feeling well. He's had to go to the doctors and run tests, so we're still waiting as to what may have happened to him. Justice is also not feeling well, even though because he's in 70, he wouldn't have been here.
Oh, tested positive for COVID.
Yeah, so they've been thinking, you never know where they got it, but we're not going to say where they got it. It's just one of those. Anyway, over to Mr. Nthobelang.
Allow me to greet you in the mighty name of the Lord Allah. Assalamu alaikum. I will just start by saying DIS arrested me for nonsense, total nonsense, because even now they can't explain. They fail to tell me why they arrested me. So they called me as for get the 𝐁𝐎𝐓𝐒𝐂𝐀𝐍𝐓 after no Catherine. I knew where they are coming for me. I knew they wanted to arrest me. I knew that some few days I got information that they want me together with Catherine and Justice. Can't tell you who told me, but I knew. DIS is a political wing of the BDP, and the acts of those guys is the acts of people who have been instructed by the president of this republic, President Masisi. I don't blame those guys, those women. Majority of them, I know them personally. Some of them are my friends. They are doing their job because they have been instructed, threatened to do what they are doing. So when you are suffering, staying home, underpaid, and you are told to do something, you will definitely do that because you want to save your job. I got arrested. Actually, I'm the one who went to them. I appointed with them because those who wanted me, I knew them, and I said, let's meet in G West shopping at G West shopping complex. I was from Phase 4, and we met there. They were driving close to 6 cars with guns. Comrades, I know you, but why are you surrounding me with like this? What do you want from me? Because you know where I stay, some of you. So I went to Sebele. Apparently a certain woman said she's suspecting that I have a gun. So they came out and said, get out of the car. Got out, they took my phone, they started searching me in public. And I said, why are you embarrassing me? Because if I have something, you can tell me, bring what you have in your pocket. So I said, I don't have anything. So then we went to Sebele. When I got at Sebele, they kept me there for some minutes. Then I met DG. And we discussed a lot with DG. And I shared with him my views about this country, about the welfare of this country, about the continuous harassment of the DIS, and about how Botswana feel about the DIS. Because Botswana fear DIS. Botswana think DIS now is not an organization that falls under the government of Botswana, formed to protect the interests in Botswana. It is now an organization that is there to fight them. I was questioned so many times. I will take 30 minutes, moti. 5 minutes, moti. And I'll ask a lot of questions. So, and then how get an police in they are detaining for alarming publications and defaming or spreading lies about the government and the president of Botswana, Ramaphosa. They got my phone, my second phone. They opened it. WhatsApp. They asked me why I cleared my conversation with former President Khama. They asked me why I cleared my conversation with certain ministers. They asked me why my conversation with certain BDP members who are in Central Committee. They asked me my friendship with ministers of President Masisi. How am I related to them? How do I share information with me? Who give me information? They asked me about certain agents in the DIS, and I told them I don't know nothing. Actually, what I'm doing, I was trained by the BDP to expose any evil act, to expose any person who does something wrong, which is against the government or the people of this country. And that is exactly what I'm doing. So when I told them that, they said I'm lying. I'm just lying, so they will torture me. I said, no, you can torture me. You can beat me. You can take me to jail for 14 days. But I will still give you the same information I'm saying now, because I know nothing about how Khama left this country. I know nothing about who leaks the information from government. I know nothing about Masisi's life or anything. The only thing I know about Masisi is a good talker who always says a lot of things but say nothing. I know President Masisi can publicly lie to the world, but they said I'm the one who's spreading lies. So when I was in Sibili, my friends there, they questioned me how I left, why I left BDP, why I was one of the people who formed the BPF, my role in the BPF, what am I doing for BPF, am I paid for working for BPF, am I paid for posting in Facebook, where do I work, why do I left my catering company back home, why am I doing this, who pays my rent and all those stuff. And I told them, comrades, we are living in a world where the BDP has failed to create jobs and job opportunities for us. It's upon us now to hustle and find what we can do. And one thing that you should know, I know nothing about President Khama's travel to South Africa. They said I'm amongst the people who helped him. I informed him and I shared almost everything, and I can even share information from the cabinet before the cabinet even share any information with the government. But that is the issue for another day. We shall meet somewhere with them. And I want to say this, when Lawrence said President Masisi knows about this, President Masisi is an insecure man who wants to use everything at his disposal to protect his presidency. And currently, because he knows the BDP is weak, because he knows the BDP cannot fight, cannot stand out and defend him, he preferred to use the DIS. He knows his cabinet can't defend him. He knows his central committee can't defend him. All the subcommittees of the BDP can't defend him, can't give any picture, any clear picture about his presidency, why he is the president, what is supposed to be expected from him, and why people should continue listening to him and regard him as the president of this country. Because insecure, he fears challenges, he preferred to use the DIS firstly to harass Dumaboko, harass Nthobelang, harass Khama, harass me. If they are harassing me now, who's next? Maybe it's your son, maybe it's your brother, maybe it's your mother. And I must tell you, if there can be anything or unrest in this country, blame it on President Masisi. Because President Masisi right now, he knows why Botswana is so angry towards him. President Masisi right now, together with his cabinet, and just to give a clear picture, are you proud of having Mutumkulu as Minister of Presidential Affairs? Are you proud of having Gabo Morang as a Minister of Presidential Affairs? People who go to office to make noise and shout, instead of giving clear picture of what the BDP has for the people of Botswana. They're not talking about land. They're not talking about creating jobs. They're not talking about giving water to the people of Tangani. They're not talking about giving land to the people of Mothabe. They only care about those who go out and say President Masisi is a failed president. They only care about those who defend the integrity, the faith and the democracy and the principles of this country. And how are we going to vote in 2024 when politicians are arrested by agents of security of intelligence? How are we going to spread the message to Botswana when you are arrested? You know why they arrest us? They know when I'm arrested, 100 people, 10,000 people who follow me on Facebook will keep shut. You know why they arrest me? They know that when I'm still arrested, they will continue to steal from Botswana. They will continue to take land that belongs to Botswana and give it amongst themselves. You know why they arrest us? They know that the BPF together with UDC will win state power in 2024. And they know that when there is political instability in this country, we will go to the negotiating table and compromise. Or no, we cannot go to elections. But let me tell you one thing. Go and write this. Share it with BDP members. Share it with President Ratsie. In 2024, we are taking state power. He must prepare to be called the former president. If he doesn't like it, if he won't love it, he must practice to love it. And when I'm finishing, look, as the BPF, we are not going to fold our arms and watch Masisi abuse the office of the president. We are not going to watch Masisi harass former President Khama. This is not about tribalism. And I want to give you an example. Where is 𝐁𝐎𝐓𝐒𝐂𝐀𝐍𝐓? 𝐁𝐎𝐎𝐓𝐒𝐂𝐃 is one man, I'm sorry to call him, he's a hypocrite, who used the Khama to be the president of this country. When the BDP was dying in 1999, President Mogae went and took Khama, cried in front of Mangwato and said, I want Nwanalona to be my vice president. And he enjoyed his 10 years as the president because he was getting the backup from the Mangwato. And I want to tell you something also about a certain man called 𝐁𝐎𝐓𝐑𝐈𝐎𝐓, who continues to spread lies about former President Khama, who continues to divide the Batubaga Mangwato. And it's so sad that 𝐁𝐎𝐓𝐑𝐈𝐎vh, at his age, he can even write a letter to 𝐁𝐎𝐓𝐑𝐈𝐎vh telling him that he should never hold a meeting. That is so sad. That is the sad situation we find ourselves in right now as Botswana. And we wanna defend the integrity of this country, because you should write about this thing. If you can't write about this thing, your kids are going to blame you for failing to protect and share the right information about this country. And I want Allah to bless you in everything that you are doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade. Thank you, Comrade Ratsie, for sharing your account. And I mean, what he has said is exactly as it is. And we are not going to shy away from telling you who the biggest liars in this country are. And if anyone who lies belongs in jail, then the man who's going to become a one-term president should be the one who's in jail. We don't know why he's not in jail. If they're arresting people for that. And there's a question that I think both of them were asked about why they hate the BDP and why they hate President Ratsie. Kathy, you don't have to do this if you can't. So I don't know if you'd like to conclude your remarks or should we move on?
Okay, thank you, Lawrence. I would like to let me continue.
Okay, all right.
Let me continue. Upon my arrival at Botswana police station, unfortunately, I was detained in a holding cell with about 30 illegal immigrants, the Zimbabweans, unfortunately, all men. I was put in the passage because the cells were full, and I didn't have privacy as a woman. Luckily, one of the police officers came in to my rescue and asked if I be moved to a holding cage. So I slept my nights at Botswana police station. Then the following morning, the DIS officers came in for day 2 to Nthobelang. So when we got there, they didn't have anything much to say to me. I wasn't interrogated. I was just kept in there. except for only my other three fellow detainees. They spent the whole day in there. Then those people, because I was kept in one of the rooms, these people kept on coming to me to show me what's happening on Facebook. They'll tell me how Botswana are angry outside because I'm detained. I'm a very intelligent woman. I should desist from politics. They can hire me at the GIS and work for them. And as they were taking all those things, I said to them, I can't do that. I can't take your offer, sorry. Then they said, no, if you don't, today we are going to continue again. If we're not satisfied with our investigations, we're going to take you back to Mogolisane police station. Then I reminded them that I was even denied access to my medication because I've got kidney problems. So throughout the whole process, I kept on asking to go to use the bathroom. At some stage, they refused until one officer escorted me to the bathroom. Then thereafter, that's when she said to them, but it looks like she's not feeling well. Then let's leave her. Whenever she wants to use the bathroom, let her do that. So the same day of Wednesday around 6 p.m., another officers came in and they said, who is your son? I said, I don't know. The last time I checked, he was in school because he just took me. Then they said, if we give you our cell phone to phone back home, would you do that? Then I said, I forgot all the contacts of anyone, so I can't remember. Can I have my phone so I can get the contact? And they refused. Then after some time, I remembered my mom's phone number. Then I managed to speak to her and speak to my son. Then around past 8 p.m., they came back again, and it was the first time for us to be put together in one compound. So they asked Ratsie if, when they released him, does he have accommodation here in Gaborone? Then he said yes. Then as for Kamal, he said he will accommodate justice. Then as for me, I said again, can I get the phone so I can phone my relatives in here? Then they refused. Then they said, okay, we'll see what we can do. Then 10 minutes later, they came back. Then they said, we'll look accommodation for you since you complained that you said you're not feeling well. So they took me to Hilton Hotel. They booked me an executive room there. I was detained in Hilton Hotel, B&B with a dinner on top. Then I somehow managed to get hold of the party PR. Then he managed to come in there. Then when they left me there, they said, we're going to take you again tomorrow morning to Ratsie. We're going to continue because we are not yet satisfied with what we exactly want from you. Then when they came in the following morning, I checked out, then we went back to Ratsie. Instead of us going to the offices, they went to the fueling station. Then when we got there, they took at the Amarok. Then from there, they said, we're instructed to take you back to your home village, Tonot. So this time around, there was no movie, no sirens, no blue lights cars. It was just a decent Amarok. It took me from here to Tonota. Then they refused with my phone. Even up to today, they still have my phone. And it was a very painful scenario. I was out of contact for some few days until my party leadership managed to make an arrangement that I come back here. I came here on Sunday. The first thing that I did was to go and see my doctor to source medical attention. Then I'm on therapy now. We started on Tuesday, that was yesterday. And I managed to gather my strength to come and face your cameras so I can speak to Botswana to tell them what I really went through. And we are not going to stop. We very, very far from stopping this. We are going to continue to defend former President Khama in any ways that we can. His legacy will be protected by fellow countrymen and women who believe that his 10 years of presidency was worth Botswana. And we also, as the BPF, we are a constitutionally registered political organization. We are not taking instructions from the GIS or any member of the security to dictate to us how to run our party. And to the BDP, we are not coming back to the BDP anytime soon. We got home here in the BPF, and tomorrow I'm going to recruit more than 50 people from the BDP that have already showed interest. So I'll call you back again here on the press conference as we will be welcoming them. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you, the leadership of the BDP. Thank you, Botswana, for your prayers. You stood, oh, BPF, sorry. BDP in So thank you, Botswana, for your prayers. Your support was so immense. You supported us from day one up to today. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you so much. James, do you want to close after that? Ask questions. Yeah. Or maybe let's have your remarks. So do Mr. Khalid's remarks, and then immediately after his remarks, then we can have answers and questions.
I'll be very short. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Members of the media.
James, your ears are advanced. Please keep your mask on.
Right. Let's talk about age. BPF is a constitutionally registered organization, political party in Botswana. And we are a disciplined organization. Our main objective is to change government. Is to politically change government. Politically. I get what it. BDP mo pusong ka tsela nngwe gape tsela rona nngwe hela hela ke go go batswaneng and go lebega re ta achieve this objective at 2024 how lebella on the ground go lebega re ta kgona gompieno we are negotiating with other opposition parties to form a pact so that we can achieve a political change in this country. So go lebega re ta kgona jaanong bona maikelo ona ile gore ba ga rona ka kwa ba tshogile ba ga rona ka kwa ba tshogile ba tshosa mo go maswe ba sala nthana ba beile gore ha o ka lebela dithopo tsa 2019 ba kgonne go cheata ba kgonne go riga these elections re na le bosupi jo bontsi le gore these elections were rigged in 2019 that on the southern part. They used this Masisi Khama issue to rig the elections on the southern side. So this time, they put the Talo said that the Talo said that Orinya, Hanki, and Bachola Muhil, Babona Lebo, or Hudiraha. So Honorable Lemahava, so you don't know who did Lemorian, Mataka, Tabara, and Megadina. So how can an intelligence organization Tiruayone if you are more intelligence requirements in the presidency? If you are more intelligence requirements in the presidency. So you cannot blame Mahosile Rugaraki and Aharasa. No. We are being harassed by the government of the day. BPF is being harassed by President Masisi and his cabinet. Some of these decisions comes from the cabinet. How can level this intelligence requirement authorize DIS for Badire. So the main objective of intelligence, like DIS in a country, is to protect the national interest of that country, whether economic or politically, outside the country, not to harass the citizens. Not to harass the citizens. So how can level la kumpieno hello level la ka BPF yo pari tagadi. So some tabadir sa propaganda mo Botswana. Botswana ba receive marka on daily basis. This marka is sponsored by the government. Marka kar Botswana ba receive marka on daily basis. Ka di o tse dintsi. Botswana ya Botswana. How ka hela mo social media. Governor go heba na mo bothati. The Khobetallo marka tsa letsatsi propaganda every day. As sponsored by the government. So this is wrong. This is wrong. This is completely wrong. So media le lona na go ta le kopa gore lona le na ditiro. La litiro e tona ya go bolella Batswana se se tlhokagala. Hala se le senyega. Hala senyega le nna he. Hala se le senyega le nna hala senyega le rona ka kwa. Le lona le bana ba lona. Le bana ba lona. So ke batla go le kopa gore re le mo setse re le mogile gore for most of the media houses ba sponsored by DIS. Most of the media houses I get lona, but most of the media houses, some of the newspapers sell out le ba hera di mokwalo wa tsone ya ba bona hela gore he go ha bana ke mathata. DIS is paying them every month. So re batla go le kopa gore nya ba gaetso a re lebelleng Botswana pele. A re lebelleng Botswana pele. Ka gore ha re dira jalo gore ha o ka lebella Botswana ya gompieno e re le mo go yone e tshwana le Uganda, whereby political opponents are being harassed by the government. E tshwana le Zimbabwe, whereby MDC alliance is being harassed by government. So Botswana ne re mo go ile ya borre ke timile masire ya borre khama ya borre mogae ya borre yen khama ene go politiko hela le re betsa ka haleka ka nna le ke le mo teng ke re gore kwa ke ne le re betsa ka haleka no go mona go thusa thata. Media no thusa tota no thusa le ira go dilo tse dintsi le di bone le di ntshe gompieno dilo tse dintsi di tsara ga sa ga tafole. So re batla go le kopa ya go nya ba gaetso are tswela go nte democracy ya Botswana is in danger. Our democracy is in danger. How can level in terms of democracy? Mahasa swana bo Uganda kate ke bo Namibia ya barakatel Zambia ya na mabande ba supa the milestones ha sala 100 days wa ga HH atsa push 100 days wa ga ba supa the milestones. So ga bana gore bana no ra tsameka ra twa ha ke rata hela no ile gore motho ena ba ta gore a nne le ruriela party ne le ga bona party e ka busang for more than 60 years. So the BDP I'm sure go tloetse magabuka from 1966 up to today go so le thalo ga gore government wa Masisi kwa BDP ga se government wa party se kwa BDP has been ruling since 1966 up to today. So BDP has to go. BDP has to go. La re karara reng ha se ba gore party ya la e busa I was more than 20 years. Yeah, they overstayed. PDPS to do. I give out of a but they are looting the state coffers. The foreign reserves. They failed to buy vaccines in time because they didn't have money. So this is the problem. This is the problem. But hela me se se teng hela gore ke batla gore kopa go kopa Batswana botlhe including you gore a re neng ka dina la se la rona le la go nna tai and that our video I failed state re tshwana le bo Somalia so a re neng ka dina o Batswana everybody in this country re ha go ya go dithopong tse ditang a rwa le ditang re bone gore le bo marona le bana ba rona mongwe le mongwe wa go thopa a thopela gore o ntsha DDP mo pusong ke a le lebogala. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you. We're going to open for questions and answers, and I think just before that, I'm pretty sure when he says most media houses are under the payroll of the DIs, he doesn't quite actually mean most media houses. He's basically saying some media houses may be on the basis of what we see. So you shouldn't come out, maybe the wrong way. All right, so the floor is now open for you to ask questions, but just before I go into there, I'll introduce two members of our NEC who are proceeding with this. And I live in Akiri, and Akiri is Secretary for Public Education. Lazarus Lokwanyana. Lokwanyana is our Secretary for the Arts Export. All right, thank you. So we may take questions if there are any questions on your end. The inmates are here. All right, any questions? Yes, sir?
You are a question again, and I got me as you were interrogated. What were charges that were laid against you? But there is never a Malatana synthesis in the king. Where did you contravene any law? What are your charges? Do you have any charges even up to date? And then I got both of you were showing when we were talking to the TG. You came in and meet both of you. Ratsie, you were saying no Coparena Ramahosi. So I got to tell you, as your conversation is to Resina Ramahosi. When you were raising this issue, so maybe you have been harassed, the people has been targeted. What was this assurance? I come outside the organization, and what was this assurance? What was been all the reasons BPF or there was a certain character and what was his assurance? And then my last question, I got them for currently we are going to the by-elections, the council seats, and then we are also proceeding to 2024 elections. Lonala as the BPF, are you sure that by 2024, given the current circumstances on the political ground, are you sure that you will still existing as a party towards 2024 elections, or you be likely to be not available given the current political circumstances on the ground? Thank you.
All right, just so that we answer you properly.
Yes.
What circumstances would lead to our demise as a party?
Maybe we see in other countries where, especially from the context of Uganda, only both one has managed to speed up the test of the time. Dr. Kizza Besigye as a party used to challenge, and then the state organs used to crack down on him, like he typically was some sort of what is happening currently at the moment.
Okay, all right, that's fine. I'll take 2 more questions, if any, before we answer. All right, while we wait, okay, the first question I'll answer. Well, the last question. We are a party that is duly registered, and we are a party that is serious about what it's doing. Our mandate before anything else is patriotism, love for one's country. And if we speak of patriotism, we speak of social justice and equality in Botswana as our guiding principles. But then it says to you the BPF is going to exist through eternity. because these ideals for which we are chasing are still going to be there in 2024. The day that these ideals are no longer fashionable and are no longer existent, we can speak about the BPF disappearing. Until these ideals are achieved, we cannot disappear. It's not going to take putting us in jail. I mean, don't win any. Yeah, that's not going to stop us from doing this. We're going to do this, and we're going to fight back in our own ways. And the enemy will keep determining or dictating the forms of struggle that we will also adopt. It is what it is. You know, like they say, all is fair in love, right? Yeah. So then I will throw the first question. What charges were laid? Sepora first.
Okay, I'll take the one for charges, you'll take one.
Yeah. Go ahead. Then Ratsie will also speak to the transaction with the DG.
So, unfortunately, we were arrested, interrogated, and released without charges, except for the statements that we were forced to write. Even up to today, we have not been contacted on the follow-up of the matter. We are yet to be told gore are ta thokiwa gape a gona le charging we e leng gore e bonwe during the interrogation, and we have never been told gore a gona le court case le gore gongwe re ka ya go itshupa gape le ga lekgotla le.
So in short, there are no charges that were laid. Mr. Nthobelang?
When I met DG in our conversation, we agreed on something common, that this country belongs to all of us and it is important for us to protect it. He promised and assured me that he will sit down and review and do an overview of everything and see if indeed there is an element of political harassment, and see if indeed there are certain harassments they might cost this country a lot, like chasing away job creating investors, like chasing away people who were interested in helping Botswana with innovative ideas. So, and he said to me that he will call me in person, we will discuss it. What do I see about this country? How do I feel about the DIS? And I didn't hide anything. I told him what the DIS is doing is wrong and what the DIS is doing is not right. And he told his juniors that they should not do anything to me. They should just ask me a question. They should cooperate with me. They should not beat me. They should not detain me. Only his juniors decided to detain me. And because he said he knows me, he told them he knows me, I know him. We used to meet even when I was still at BDP. So, all in all, he promised me something. And I hope his promise, he will keep his promise, that he will assess everything and come back to us and give me and give Botswana and us, because it's not about me. Botswana feel the DIS is harassing us. Botswana feel the DIS is harassing other Botswana and political opponents to the ruling party. So he promised to work on that. And that's all.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Ratsie. Just as a comment on what you just said, I think if I was a DIS officer, I'd be a bit ashamed of my DG if he met a client of ours and he told them that, he'll treat them right, and then it then seems as though the officers are the ones who just choose to do things. Those officers at the DIS, a lot of them are very good human beings. They are not doing this because they want to do it. So it's shameful that the DG, as per the allegation, would come in and paint himself as a good man and his officers as people who are not good. Those instructions are from above. It's not those DIS officers. The servicemen and women in there are good people who just want to serve their country. There are people who are just employees to feed their families. So the DG must take the hit. He must not be, cowardly when he meets people who is detained. He must meet them and tell them why he detained them. Because how do you explain that the Director General of your intelligence service actually goes in to literally meet detainees. You understand? He should focus on strategic matters and leave the operational matters to his officers and not interfere there too much. So the problem with the DIS today is that the DIS plus the DG, they behave and act like a bull in a china shop. That's the problem with the country. So he shouldn't come in and start trying to evade responsibility by saying it's the officers and not me. Anyway, this is the comment of that, and yeah, I don't know if we have any more questions. In the next 5 or 10 minutes to close, because we wanted this to be like an hour and 30, and I think we're doing well in terms of time. Okay. Any other question? Great. In the absence of any other question, we're going to thank you. Okay, all right. He wants to add something, just quickly run through it.
This is not the first time I was arrested. And I think my phone, it's a DIS. They took my BlackBerry in 2015, even right now, in Zahayo. And also, I want to tell you, Lona, we don't want to appear in social media as if we are the one with information. Don't fear to write out. Don't fear to share with Botswana. And I also want to tell you, happily journalists, right? So you guys should not be threatened by those guys. You guys should not fear from writing what should be told Botswana. And lastly, I'm waiting for my fabricated charges, and I will go to court. Be there. Be there.
All right, thank you. We don't think the charges are coming, by the way. And the funny thing is, the Director for Legal Services was also quite involved in the interrogation and stuff. So it was quite a high-profile detention, I guess, and to take your senior-most people. And yeah. All right, so we want to thank you so much for making time to actually come in for this briefing. We will keep you informed as this matter